Hi. Yesterday morning we were on our bike ride, old men riding Bailey on bikes. This is Morden Hall Park. I just got that just a fraction after the sun went in, so I'm going to paint it as brightly as I can. Morden Hall Park is part of the Wandle Valley, and we were riding along our little bit of the Wandle yesterday, us old men, and it was beautiful. If you want to see more of those photos, they're on my Facebook page, Dave Usher. I give the link to Facebook on all my videos now, so you can easily find them. And if you want to work from them, you're very welcome. This one's an enlargement. I just wanted to capture that against the yellow and greens and the turning leaves. Really, really beautiful. So, what to do? Right, okay, I'm going to use my new mop, and apparently mops like to be kept moist, because if you don't, they tend to break a little bit. But anyway, I've got my wrists are really not very good at the moment, or these days, and I've been decorating, and some things have to be done, don't they? Things arise to stop you from doing the things you really want to do. So I'll wet the paper all over. It'll be a wetting wet. I always work wetting wet. I usually do. On this Fabriano paper anyway. So it's Fabriano, £130. This is, I'm going to try and make this a sort of, it's not a beginner's picture really. So I'm going to change the sky a bit. I'm going to put in some blue across the horizon. It was quite a bright day. Well, actually very nice. But it was warm, so we'll just get this all on the paper here. And what I've noticed is that you quite often get clouds low down on the horizon, so we put a bit of blue, a bit of sienna in there. So a graduated sort of wash, which I don't really like doing. But hey, why not? So I'll put a flash of lemon yellow across. We imagine that the sun's back out, and a bit of sienna in there as well. The park heroes tend to leave lots of the parks, or parts of the bits of the park, as natural meadow, which is very lovely. So I'm going to put a bit of a cloud on there, so light red and an ultramarine, just faint cloud, just coming across the sky here. Just a bit darker maybe. And right down to the horizon. See what happens to that. Okay, I don't want anything really much brighter than that. I'm just going to reclip the paper and I'm going to dry it. So there's an exercise in a graduated wash. You need your paper at least 30 degrees so that the paint comes down on the wet paper. If you try to do it the other way around, by painting on dry paper, the wash might soak in and leave you with lines. But by wetting the paper first, you get the gradation. Right, headphones off, go. Oops, turn on. Right, we can put in some background trees now. My mop's falling on the floor, so I have to give it a little bit of a clean. Okay, so let's invent part of this autumny scene, the background. So we'll have a bit of sienna-y, yellowy on the horizon here. So let's just coming across here. bits of green. It's what you leave out as much as anything else, as where you go with the painting. You don't have to put it all in. This is the whole point. I don't work from photographs in the way that I used to. I just use them as a guide, nothing more. Now just put a little bit of warm shadow across here. Right, okay, now we've got this massive great wodge of autumn leaves on this willow. It's got to be a willow, isn't it, to look like that, all droopy. I'm not going to do all the fronds coming down, I'm just going to do it as a simple mass. So the yellowy, sienna-y leaves on this big tree here. Let's just put that in. A bit darker green, I think, on there. And then we've got a lot of sort of warmer colours in here. Sienna, burnt sienna, yellow, raw sienna. Put that down here. Right, okay, now we've got some darker greens, so let's use a bit of Payne's grain. I like this new brush, I'm getting more used to it. This one comes right the way down here. Bit of yellow. And then put some background trees in here. I'm just using the edge of the brush. Just leave some sky holes, and I can put some twiggy branches and stuff in there. Right, okay, more green there. Right, I'm not going to do much more. I'm going to put in this raw sienna, this burnt sienna, with the raw sienna and burnt sienna, and some burnt umber. So let's just put all this in here. I'm only sort of approximately doing this. And I can put some darker umber in there as well. It's coming right down to the ground. Right, now we'll get some umber. And to put in the shadows. Oops. We've got this nice darky stuff in here. So that's one side darker than the other because it's just a little bit of shadow there, but the sun was catching that bit here, so we've got to just sort of increase the shadow on this area here. Okay, something like that. Right, now we'll get some shadowy grassy stuff in there. I haven't forgotten about the hake, because you're worried. I just like this, I'm just trying to get used to this brush. It's one that, or Tim Wilmot pointed it out that he was using, but if it wasn't this one, I think I ended up with the wrong brush here. But and I'm going to go with some heavier, darker green. in the foreground, in the shadow. Well, I'm still working from this picture, but I'm only doing an approximate sketch of it really. Trying to get the grasses sort of coming up in the shadow. Holds a lot of water with this brush. It's got pretty good. So now with the colour, well, let's get it darker. So plenty of blue, plenty of yellow, a bit of umber in there, or sienna. Let's see all this sort of stuff. And we'll put some warmer notes in there as well, because coming towards you, you need warmer colours, cooler colours in the distance. We'll keep that wet because I'm going to scrape out some of this in a minute. So the darker it is, the lighter it will show against the white of the paper. Alright. Well, this brush sort of gives all sorts of nice techniques, isn't it? Look. Because it's split. Got a bit of detail in the background here. So let's scrape out some of these catching the light, these little bits of grass. Oh, let's overdo it. Go on. Okay, so I'm not going to use the rigger. My background is about dry, so I'm going to use some. Well, I can't see any trunks in there, but I can see a lot of dark. Touch the water in the brush a little bit, get it all together. Right, there's just a bit more detail in the shadow area here. So the only way I can think of doing this is to show it coming down with the edge of this brush. It's so beautiful. So these are just showing the shadows of the sky in there. That one. Right, let's. There's little bits coming over here as it goes round into the shadow bit. Right, okay. Right, we'll put a bit of calligraphy in. There's a bit of blue and a bit of umber. I can see there's a bit of stuff in there. I'm going to put that in heavier, but I just want to get these branches in here. I can't see, there's some nice yellowy in here. Bit more in there, and there's more green in there. Just strengthening up the shadow side of this. And here we've got some that's too high really, but I don't know. And we'll put in some just shorthand for a lot of stuff in the distance, but it's just a bit too high. And we'll get that darker green in here. Right, okay, now some artistic license now. So a bit of blue, bit of umber, and just bring up some of this here. Just a few of these. And that goes, ooh, there's only one tree there really. Okay. Still not convinced. There's some darker bits in here. The shadow. So I'm going to mix a bit of Payne's grey with burnt umber, just to darken it. Sort of negative space. And that's it. Okay. Right. Now we'll put in a bigger tree here, I think, but I'm not going to show the branches coming over from the side. My brush is split, so just bring it back together again. Right. That's not as good as it should be, is it really? But a bit of nice green now. Bit of warm green. And then we get some good dark green. In the foreground, I'll warm it up a bit of Payne's grey, bit of sienna and a bit of lemon yellow. Right, we'll put in some dark. Light touch is needed here. This is a number 6 Pro Art Renaissance brush, mop, goat hair, number 6. It's a nice brush. So it's a student quality, but I don't think it is, not £12.40. Although it's cost a lot less than the French mop I've got, the squirrel mop and the Sabi. Oh, we'll just put in a bit of ground shadow. Can't come here. just anchor everything into the landscape here. I've gone a long way away from the photograph. Let's put in a heavier green there. Burnt sienna, Payne's grey and lemon yellow. So let's get a lower one here. I can't get this quite dark enough. That's better. Oh, that makes a sort of bit of a painting of it. Let's make that a little bit taller. So leave plenty of sky holes for your birds. Oh well. I think if I was to do anything, I could maybe go over that with the sienna. I just put in a bit of. You could do this with a bit of gouache to highlight it. In fact, I think I'll do that. I've got my big tray here, and I'll put out a bit of gouache if I can find it. It's here somewhere. If you're desperate, you can always use a bit of. You can always use a bit of acrylic. I'm forever losing stuff on here. Not surprising, is it? Noise is off. Where's he gone? Right, well I can't find it, so I'm going to use a bit of acrylic. So bear with me. I'll just dig out the acrylic. This is desperate stuff now. Right, I've got my acrylic in the stable pen. Now it's been in here for a week. Well, longer than a week. I haven't cleaned the palette, but there it is, still usable. It's a Masterson Stay Wet palette. Right, I'm going to use my mop. I'll make sure I keep it clean. So plenty of white. That's very nice. Look. And a bit of nice sienna. Raw sienna. See if this will just. When you do this sort of thing, it turns into a mixed media rather than a watercolour, but it doesn't matter. I got a bit desperate. More gold and just have a bit of burnt sienna in there. No, that's not right. I've got enough dark on there, but I want to put some, so maybe some more white with the sienna. Maybe a bit of lemon yellow in there as well. Can't quite get that gold, so I'll remember it. But it really is sort of pure raw sienna. It's not a very good attempt, is it, mate? But then, it's an honest attempt. Right, well, I'm going to let that go. I can't do any more to it. I could maybe, I've got to make sure the brush is dead clean. Right, I'll put the lid on, and I'm going to do a little bit with a pen, I think. So we can call it wash and line rather than line and wash. But it was a beautiful morning. It's reasonably, well, it's quite mild for November. But have a look at the photographs and have a go yourself. What's your pen? Right, okay. Oops. Give it a good shake. Give it a press. Right, okay. Let's. See where we wanted some. Right, okay, and we'll have some. I think I need some texture here, but I'm struggling with the mop at the moment. I want some darker green. And I like the marks that the hake makes. But this, well, if you get enough water, the right amount of water on it, it's not bad. Very sort of dark around here. There was a shadow, although as the camera lies, you see, it wasn't as dark, but the camera enhances. Right, okay. Well, that is as good as I'm going to get, I think. So I'll put it in a mount. I'll sign it. Probably worth a signature, but. Okay, we'll see. It's good for you to know that I do mess up from time to time, well, quite often actually. Alright, well, there we are. Right, well, thanks for watching. I'll bring it around. Well, it's supposed to be the old willow tree, Beddington Park, not Beddington, Mordenhall Park. I won't show you the original, you can see that for yourselves. Thanks for watching. It's a good idea to use the ink. It doesn't matter, whatever gives you an effect. It's not a pure watercolour anymore because we've added a bit of acrylic which didn't really work, so we can discount that. But the foreground's quite reasonable, scraped out okay. Maybe I'm not really used to this brush, but we'll persevere. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.